Finally, we're going to look at the different types of managers that exist. This is just a general overview because we know that there are lots of different types, but overall, we're going to look at just a few. Okay, so we could look at managers vertically. Obviously, vertically meaning from the top down or down up. So at the top of an organization, we have brilliantly known as top managers, which would be those at the tippy top, your CEOs, your general managers, your vice presidents, whatever you'd like to call them. Then in the middle managers, which is a very interesting role because, of course, you've got to manage both the top managers and those below you. And then we have your first line managers. Now, this used to traditionally be known as the word supervisor and sort of implied that the people who were managing the front line or the people who were managing the core operations of the business. But we're now moving to actually calling them front line managers. And then we have those at the bottom of this structure known simply as non-managerial employees, meaning that they do not have anybody reporting into them. So, we can look at management horizontally now. We have functional managers, which basically means that they are responsible or they manage a function. So in an organizational context, that function usually means a department or people that perform a single functional task. So for example, everybody who does anything involved with marketing will report to a marketing manager. The marketing manager is therefore responsible for the function of marketing. So any employees would be beneath them or who reports to them would have a similar background, training, and skills. And then we have the idea of a general manager who is just that. They manage generally. They may have different departments under them and different functions. So you may have a general manager for a bank, and under him you might have the frontline manager for the cash, the tellers in the front. You may have the people responsible for loans reporting to him. You may have the security reporting to him. So a number of different departments reporting into the general manager. Some examples of functional managers: your operations manager, your marketing manager, your sales manager, finance, HR, manufacturing, or accounting. Another example, in a high-low store, you may have a general manager and everybody reports to him. And then we have another interesting dynamic of project managers, which is more and more becoming popular. Project managers tend to coordinate a number of different people from a number of different departments. So now we're looking at a cross-functional team. And then to end, we're going to look very briefly at how the times that we're managing in now are very difficult to those in the past, and that the world seems to have gone mad, or rather it's very, very turbulent. Times are ever changing. Managers are asked to stay calm, be very visible, put people before business, since it's the people that's going to make or break the business, to tell the truth, and then to know when to get back to business. So we're going to be kind of looking at these themes all the way through this course. And then I think this is my last slide here, some of the new competencies or the new ways of looking at management. We want leadership rather to be dispersed, meaning it should not just be the manager who has the ability to lead, and we expect to find leadership at all different levels of the organizations. We believe in empowering others and enabling others, giving them the authority to be able to do a lot of the work themselves and not having to keep checking back with managers or having managers micromanage employees. We want to have collaborative relationships where it's really a win-win solution to all our issues when it comes to relationships amongst staff and with staff. We need to be able to build a team because more and more we're designing work which requires teams to complete. Therefore, we need to ensure that our teams are performing at the optimum level. And then the last thing, which we're going to look at a bit more next week, is this idea of a learning organization, which is really about sharing information and everybody, being very, very focused on teamwork and not so much all about levels and bureaucracy. But as I say, we'll look at that next week. So to recap on what we did this week, we looked at a definition of management. We definitely know in that definition we want to have something about the attainment of organizational goals. And we looked at the 4 management functions of planning, organizing, controlling or monitoring, and leading. We looked at the 3 managerial skills, which are basically conceptual, human, and technical skills, and identifying that all are needed in our organization at all the levels, but as you move up the organization, the ratio of those, or how much of each of those skills you need, changes. The 10 different roles that managers perform. And then finally, this idea that managers are changing, management is changing because of the turbulent times that we're living in. Change is the only constant, and that managers need to understand that, almost embrace that, because you can't run from that. And some little tips that we need to kind of hold on to if we're going to be successful managers.